Ladies and gents, welcome back. Here we are, another Friday. It's been a whole other week. Holy cow, how much stuff can happen in 1 week? It is insane the amount of things that can happen in a small little blue dot in the universe in such a short period of time. It's insane. How many people out there went and bought a whole lot of alcohol in the past couple of days? Hey, I'm just having a soda, you know, one of them wobbly pops. I'm gonna enjoy that one while we're having a stream here. But how many of you went out and bought lots and lots of alcohols because you know that, well, as of tomorrow, it's gonna be 6.8% more expensive to buy alcohol in Canada. Stop drinking. What? Okay, well, some people just don't have it in them. Let's get the chat in here. Boom, there we are. Ladies and gents, welcome back. We are streaming again another Friday. This is amazing. I've been help the algorithm. You know what? I've been having actually a hard time with the algorithm because I took a month off of YouTube. Essentially, I did a few videos while I was away, but not a lot, not like normal, and not like I plan on getting back into for the foreseeable future anyway, while I was on vacation. So that was one of those things, and it really suffered. The channel did anyway, and well, just trying to get it back, and it's slowly coming back. It's one of those things that it takes some time before YouTube goes, oh yeah, this guy makes content, right? I see. Let's recommend it out to people who have hit the bell. Many people hit that bell, and it doesn't always send it out. So it's important to make sure you stay relevant and keep posting. And you know what helps every time? It helps every time is when you guys are watching these live streams, the videos, comment, hit that like button. I know you guys have it in you. Hit that like button and share. Sharing is one of those things. One of the things I only just found out recently. Even if you don't end up sharing, what you can do is just hit the share and then hit copy link, and then it includes it as a share. I'd say go paste that link somewhere, but you don't necessarily have to. So just copy link, and boom, YouTube's like, hey, people want to share this stuff. This is great. Jelly Duck, member for 10 months. Look at that. Hello from Kuwait. Good to see you, Clyde. Hello, Kuwait. Hello, Jelly Duck. Good to see you as well, my man. You've been around for a while. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Good to see you again. But yes, you gotta feed that algorithms and get that stuff going. So yeah, hit that like button. It really helps. And it gets it out there. The way it works is the algorithm has a profile for you, has a profile for every one of us, and they match people with profiles with video content. And if a lot of people with a particular kind of profile are watching a certain YouTuber, they'll recommend it out to people with similar profiles for their watch habits and viewing behaviors. This is how the algorithm gets things out there. The postponed U.S. TikTok ban would be worse than C11. Oh, well, C11, we're going to get into that. Not so great. I don't know where I sit on the TikTok ban thing. I think it's kind of funny. But maybe we can get into that. Oh, why don't we get into that right now? TikTok, because it's not a story that I'm covering tonight. TikTok ban. It's kind of a can of worms that I don't think the government really wants to open up. You're big in Japan, are you? I'm not. I'm just kind of average, whatever. But it's a thing. Or maybe I'm a little taller than average. I don't know. What's 5'9" in Japan? That's kind of average these days, anyway. But where was I going? TikTok. TikTok is one of those cans of worms that people can't. I gotta answer this. Except unacceptable fridge. Derek, thank you for the $10 super chat. Alberta is calling. Clyde, we need my number 2. I'm sure you got a lot of number 2s, man. When I take the mayor's seat, Smith Dynasty incoming, and we're gonna cover some of that actually tonight. We are gonna cover your opponent, the current mayor. doing a terrible job. Terrible job. It might be an easy run for you, my man. It might be an easy run for you. But yeah, I'd be happy to lend you the support. You got my full moral support. I can't vote for you. I'm not in Calgary. But yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, TikTok is a funny thing. I could care less about TikTok. A lot of people could care less about TikTok, but it is a very popular app. It is run by the Chinese. It is rotting people's brains. It is also banned in China, which is funny because they have another version of TikTok, but instead of rotting your brains with gender ideology and that kind of stuff, they actually teach you to be a good person, and they tell you about science projects, and they tell you they lean the algorithm into pushing for better behavior and smarter behavior. Anyway, maybe that's a coincidence. I doubt it is. But the reason why I say it's a can of worms is because as soon as the government, so here's the thing. The government is essentially banning it outright, which I disagree with banning a particular company outright just on the merits of I don't like that company, or I don't like where that company came from originally. They don't even have, it's not even based out of China anymore. And this is the thing. So it's one of those things where I don't agree with that principle. Now, I'm okay with the idea of saying, okay, well, this company is doing particular bad things, so let's get into that, and let's set up some regulation, things like that. And I'm not a anti-regulation guy. I am very laissez-faire. I'm very pro market economy, but I do think there are certain things that deserve regulation, and this is probably one of them, this industry. Now, that's a big old can of worms that I don't think the government in America or even in Canada want to get themselves into, because what does that do? If they start talking about the exact principled reasons and the particular behaviors of a company and regulate that, well, that's really going to hoop Google, Facebook, everybody. All of them. If it's a big scare that your data is being taken and is being used and all of these things, well, they're all doing it. So at the end of the day, that's a can of worms that they can't really get into, and I don't think they're gonna get into. And they'll if they ban TikTok, they'll ban it wholesale, which I think is a bad precedent to set, and I don't think they should be doing it that way. So yeah, let's have this conversation. Let's open back up the concept of Section 230 of the Copyright Act. Let's get into that. And that's the part of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that says that these platforms are they're platforms, and as a platform, they have blanket immunity from prosecution for what the users do on their website, whereas publishers, they don't have immunity. They don't have immunity to slander and things like that. So like a newspaper can't just publish anything because they're a publisher. If they publish stuff that's slanderous or dangerous or copyright infringing, they're liable. But platforms, they work on a completely different principle, and well, they haven't been acting as platforms. They've been acting as publishers, and this is why we need to see our way around Section 230. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on these super chats here real quick. Derek, you don't need to cover Jody. I never know how to pronounce that. Jody Gondek. I've been reading a lot about her. Paper says she's yesterday's news. Oh my goodness. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's a really awesome throwback to Macho Man Randy Savage. Big fan. Rest his soul out there at Macho Man Randy Savage. She's yesterday's news. Unjustifiably in a position I'd rather not be in. But the cream always rises to the top. I am the cream of the crop. All right. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Derek. You are the cream of the crop. You're going to win that one. Rob Hellfire, the $11 super chat. Derek, You absolutely have my vote. Please get rid of the woke leftist crap. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to get into a bunch of that woke stuff. This is going to be like a bashing on woke stream. So if you're squeamish, maybe tune out, because this one's gonna be getting into it pretty hard. There's been some stuff in the news that's well, my goodness. Yeah, we're getting into it. We are getting into it. I hope in the 2 hours that we have, we can cover all the things that I'm planning on actually covering here. But this is the way it goes. It gets hectic. It gets hectic in these live streams, but I love doing it. I love doing it every Friday. This time, if this is your first time tuning into the live stream, so the schedule of the channel is, and it all started normally every Monday through Friday. I'll do videos early in the morning. I wake up super early, get to making videos before I go pull wrenches all day long as a professional mechanic. That's my actual certification. I'm not a talking head internet guy, except in my spare time. So I do this early in the morning. I'll put together videos about things that I care about, news stories that are relevant to me. If you kind of fall in line with that same sort of thing, welcome you to join and watch the videos every Monday through Friday. I try to put out at least 2. Can't always put out 2. Sometimes they get a little long in the tooth, the videos. Sometimes more videos. It just depends on how easily I can wake up and what's going on in the news. But then every Thursday we have this is a new thing starting this year, and we took a break while I was away in Japan, but we're back as of yesterday. The podcast. So we'll do a weekly podcast. I'll bring in a guest, Joe Lyman, who might be in the chat right now, maybe not. But Joe Lyman is my man behind the scenes. He helps out, and we have guests on, and we have really good conversations. Yesterday was Marty up north, fantastic guy. Really admire his mind and the way he thinks. And we had a really, really awesome 2-hour conversation that premiered last night. So these premieres will happen every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock Pacific time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. So your prime time thing. And the podcasts, I want to be on the podcast. Where's my invite? You'll get it as we get closer to that election run for sure. Absolutely. But yes, every Thursday, expect those. They're pre-recorded and then they go up live, so I can come and be in the chat with you guys while everybody's having a chat in the premiere. So those are a lot of fun. We've got some cool people lined up for future episodes coming up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Hoping to get a nice wide variety of different peoples. It's not going to be always the same sort of conversations. It's going to be refreshing, new, different stuff happening all the time. And then, of course, every Friday we do these live streams, and this is my way of giving back to the community. I really enjoy this. This is the live streams are super fun because it's just off the cuff, chatting with you guys directly. It's my time to engage with the chat and engage with you guys. So, and there's a reason why I separated those things. I at first I had guests on Fridays a few times, but I found myself half focused on the chat and half focused on the person that I'm speaking with, and I'd rather be focused completely on the guest that I have, and then be on the Fridays I'll be focused completely on you guys and the community and keeping this all going, because I really love it. I have a lot of fun with this. Gerald Nadeau. Please help me with the pronunciation. I'm terrible with that. Thank you for the 550 super chat. I just wanted to let people know most major cities have groups advocating for non-citizens being allowed to vote municipally. This is a slippery slope. I agree. I agree with that. Yes, you need to, if you want to have your say in where you live, you need to, be invested into it. And well, part of that is becoming a member and pledging your support pledging your allegiance. We don't want people who are just, transient, could come and could go, to come make the shots or call the shots on how things are going to go. Because to me, if you're not interested in getting it, well, then you're not really interested in sticking around, are you? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. And I welcome people who from all walks of life that want to come and be Canadian citizens to come and apply. Absolutely, come live here, become part of our culture, become part of the everything. I really like the fact that people want to come here and want to be part of what it is that we are. Right? We might get a bit from other cultures, but let's not. We don't have to change the shop every time somebody comes to town. Clyde, the National Citizens Inquiry is now onto the shot. Oh, they're actually now talking about the vaccines. This is where they're at with it. Okay, I know Tom was on today. I didn't catch it, but you didn't welcome me, Clyde. Okay, Johnny, welcome. Everybody's welcome. But where was I? Tom, I was actually talking with Tom yesterday, and then he said that he was going to be on testifying at the inquiry. I didn't catch that, but I'll have to catch up on some of the clips and the highlights of that. There's just so much going on; it's crazy. But yeah, that's a thing. Got to run for a bit, but jump into Discord later. All right, Derek, we'll see you soon. Everybody, just so you know the schedule, this is we do this every Friday, and then after the live stream, we all shift over to the Discord server, where everybody's welcome to come in and be part of the conversation. You don't have to chat if you don't want to. If you want to just like come in and then just linger and listen, that's fine too. But everybody's welcome. It's free to join. It's not a paid membership or anything like that. Come on over and hear the voices from other people in the community. I really like to see people engage with the community because it's a good practice. It's a good practice for just flushing out ideas. Talking and communicating with people is this amazing dance that we do as human beings, right? And it's how we can really flush out ideas. You flush them out by trying them out and having conversation with people, and it's always nice to have a community of people that aren't like hard nosed, like you got to believe this, you got to be that. No, people are pretty open, and people don't always disagree, people don't always agree, but that's good. We want to have disagreements, and it's not about arguing or anything like that, but it's definitely a welcoming community of people. I need all the practice I can get. Yeah, Jane, there you go. But yeah, come on in, and this happens every Friday after the show. Not to mention that the Discord's open all the time for anybody to go in and have communication with each other, and that is the thing. Where's Bonnie? Wow, I've never heard that one. Ooh, interaction, what? No more cheese on the moon. Oh, okay, well, they're having some sort of climate change over there as well, I guess. Love the memes on Discord, Clyde. Yeah, and we're going to share some of these. I love getting into these memes before we get into any of the topics, because any thoughts on AI extreme advancements? Wow. We could get into that. I don't know if we have time for this tonight, but maybe in the Discord we'll get into that. Joe has so much to talk about that stuff. I'm kind of behind the ball on that one. I've been following other stories. I'm definitely interested in it, but it's like, yeah, AI. Well, I heard that recently there's like a petition to try to stop the advancement of AI. Well, I'm sorry, the cat's out of the bag now. Like you're not turning that one off. It's over. Discord changed again, Clyde. What do you mean Discord changed again? My Discord's the same. It hasn't changed. And I try to keep it normal. You glad to be back in Canada? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is my home. Japan is my second home though. I love it there. Like, don't get me wrong. It is awesome. AI should have Roxham Road list too. Just saying. Is there a list? I didn't know there was a list. Tesla Transformer trucks. Thick skin. Yeah, you need to have a thick skin. I guess being a tradesman, that's where I got that. You just poking fun at each other. It's a fun game. It's a fun dance that we all do. Hey, I noticed a lot more people have filed in since we started talking. Just don't forget to hit that like button. As soon as you hit that like button, YouTube goes, hey, awesome, you like this? I bet you a bunch of people that watch stuff just like you do would like it too. Let's recommend it out to more people. And then that's how the community grows, and we just love to watch that happen. Where's the internet gangster now, Joe DeLyman at? I don't know where Joe Lyman is, but yeah, he'll probably be around soon. But this is the thing. Oh, I wanted to talk about that one thing too. I forgot all about lining any of those articles up. Apparently Toyota got a new CEO. The actual family member of the original Mr. Toyota was the CEO, the descendant of all of that site. All right, Clyde, quit nagging, right? So Toyota got a new CEO, and the new CEO said, yeah, no, electric cars are not the future. Sorry, we're not putting money into that. That's not our R&D. We're not wasting our time. We're gonna see how the market plays out. Not to say that they won't have hybrids. I'm a big fan of hybrids. I think hybrids are a great idea. I think the electric motor technology is fantastic, but I just don't think, and I'm not saying that I can't poo-poo electric cars for everything. I think they have their place. But the idea of the government implementing it is just such a dumb idea. And this is coming from somebody in the automotive industry. Like, this is my field. Toyota is toast, lol. No, Toyota is actually going to do really well. I think they're a little bit more based, and they have a little bit more sense to them and what's going on. I think a lot of this, like going too far, investing too much too early in the electric car business is it's like wokeism in the corporate wokeism stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, Tesla doing a great thing. They have a great market share, and a lot of people want those cars. I think hybrids are probably a better bet, even plug-in hybrids, but not. There's a lot of places where EVs just do not work. They just will not work, and that's my opinion on that one. I want to build an electric vehicle with Clyde. I would love to build an electric vehicle. Again, I'm not against electric cars. I just I don't think that's our future. I think some sort of hybrid thing, and then your city cars all being EV. I think that would work. I prefer Tesla over Volkswagen. I prefer anything over Volkswagen. Das Auto. Those things fall apart. One thing maybe people don't know. And I'm not gonna get too much into automotive technical stuff in this stream, but you're in Germany. They have laws where the plastic that they manufacture stuff to make cars parts with has to be biodegradable within a certain amount of time. So that means your Volkswagen, your Audis, all these cars, when they come out, they're nice and they're good when they're brand new, and yeah, they're overpriced, but at a certain point, all the plastic components are gonna shatter and crumble, and these are parts of the engine. Like it gets expensive. Let's just say, and not too late after the vehicle is manufactured. It's kind of famous in the auto repair world that people sell like an Audi. It'll be like 10 or 15 years old, and it's for sale, and people are like, oh, I got this Audi on a steal. BMW. It was so cheap. Like all these cars, and then they bring it in for the repair, and then they realize why, because it's just a money pit. A lot of these vehicles, and yeah, a lot of people like them. JDM Not a fan. For those that don't know, the acronym is Japanese Domestic Market. It's great if you're in Japan. In North America, good luck getting parts for it. They're a hassle. As a technician, it's a hassle because you pull in a car, you diagnose it, and then you kick it out. Because see you later. We won't see parts for that for a week. So yeah, not a big fan. Unless it's like a hobby car. Hobby cars are fun. I'm all for that. But why don't we get into some of these memes? Hey, the memes are good. This one I saw on YouTube. I love the communities tab on YouTube. I hope you guys are using it because it's a lot of fun. This one was from the Celtic Canuck, and whoa, I don't even have anything up. I got a black screen. Here we go. Boop. I didn't prepare. The Celtic Canuck. This is obviously fake news, but news. Justin Trudeau releasing a statement on the passing of Bill C-11. Now, if you didn't catch the news, they passed Bill C-11 again after the Senate brought it back because there was some stuff that the Senate was like, no, we can't. This won't fly. Send it back to the House. You need to debate this. And what did the Liberals do? They squashed the debate. They just said, nope, we're not debating it. Vote on it. Send it back. Yeah, that's right. Nice. Yeah. So like the censorship bill, they censored debate on passing a censorship bill. You just can't make this up. Corrupt scientists helped the tobacco industry. Corrupt scientists helped the plastic industry. Corrupt scientists helped the fossil fuel industry. No, of course, the government would never hire scientists to push fake evidence. Scientists have far too much integrity. Oh God, I love these memes. These are awesome. The NPC. If you haven't heard the theory, the NPC theory is hilarious. It's a funny joke, but some people got really offended by it. And the theory, the way the theory goes, whoa, chat's gone, chat's back. The way the theory goes, and it's a joke theory, but you know, there's only so many souls out there. God only made so many souls, and the world's become overpopulated. Well, if there's only so many souls, how could everybody have a soul? It's a funny meme, right? So, and the idea is that there's a bunch of people out there that they don't even have souls. They're just NPCs. And what an NPC is, for people who don't play games, that's a non-player character. So when you're playing a video game online and you run into a character, either it's going to be an actual person somewhere in the world on a video game console, or it's going to be a non-player character. And non-player characters, it's not a lot to them. Let's just say there's not a lot to them. They have a script tree. And then you can interact with them, and they'll have like 3 or 4 like scripted responses, and then they walk away, and that's and that's the theory. So there's a bunch of people out there, they don't have souls. They're just NPCs. They're non-player characters in this game of life. And those are the ones that are like, put that mask on, you know. And yeah, there we go. Liberal backbenchers NPC. Yeah, that's it. Let's get into some more of these. Uh-oh, Trudeau, where are you going? What are you gonna do now? Okay. He's painted himself into a corner with it should have like a little hammer and sickle on the paint can. There's definitely a crimson communist red that he's out there doing. This one, I don't know if it's too soon for a joke, but his vision is based on movement. Stay still and he can't see you. Now, this isn't, I'm sure most of you have seen the story. This was a stabbing that happened in Vancouver. And I didn't do a story on it because it was so graphic, and it was actually really terrible what happened. I don't know the details of the confrontation that they had, but this man here decided, well, we're having an argument. He just stabs another man. And yeah, that was insane. Now, what wasn't so insane as was the reaction of these other people in the vicinity. One person was just continued filming. Another person pulled out their phone to do a selfie video, where he was saying, bruh, the guys died, bruh. Absolutely insane. And then this schmuck over here, just sitting, sipping his coffee as a man is bled out next to him. I don't know what you can even... Anyway, here's another one. When you're enjoying your Starbucks listening to a CBC Gem podcast and a racist conspiracy theory happens right in front of you. Right? Oof. Yikes. Anyway, moving on. I'm not lingering on that one. World's happiest countries back in 2015. Hey, we were number 5. Now we're 2023. We're down to 13. What could possibly have happened in between those 8 years? 8 whole years. God. Move on. Oh yeah, there's no guns in Canada, by the way. I'm going to Vancouver tomorrow. I hope nothing happens. Holy cow. Vancouver is a terrible city. Terrible place. Oof. Oh, the scaling on these sometimes don't work. He started believing things I knew weren't true. First, I thought it was Alzheimer's. Then I realized he was watching CBC. Oh, poor grandpa. Oh, poor grandpa. He's just so lost. He doesn't know what's going on anymore. All that CBC rotting his brain. Oh, God. Pocket knife, at least. 8 full years of Trudeau. Yeah. 8 full years. Logic dictates that if gun owners were as violent as anti-gun advocates claim they are, there would be no anti-gun advocates. I want to see more Spock memes. I like this. I think it's hilarious. Let's get the chat in here so you guys can react to this. Thank you. Was not able to get my phone to read entire meme. Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll read them out for you. No issue. I like that one. Because you know, it's the people who own guns that are the problem. Statistically, gun owners are less likely to commit a crime. That is actually a statistic that's out there. That's a real one. This is my favorite picture of Justin Trudeau. Oh, you guys just enjoy that one for a minute. That's a tasty one. That is a tasty one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Enjoy it. Actually, I'm going to enjoy that one a little bit more. Love what you do, Clyde. Thank you, Dirk. I appreciate that. Someone give that old man a medal. Absolutely. What a guy. Amazing that they just let that happen. But it happened. Oh, it was a beautiful moment. We can't screenshot that. We can't screenshot with chat on screen, lol. What? Why not? Why can't you? Here we go. Dr. Seuss, if you were born with a prick, you're not a chick. Oh, this is gonna get dirty, and I might get into some trouble tonight with some of these ones. Oh boy. Let's get the chat off to the side. Move over, ladies. There's a new girl in town. Oh God. Yeah, no, this is for real. This is where we're going with this. Doctors report startling rise in testicular injuries among women athletes. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a thing. I want a life-size cutout of that meme with a hole where the other boxer said, "Oh God, I don't know where you want. I don't want to know where you're going with that one." Oof. What else have we got here? Hi. No, no. Oh, bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye. Oh. Oh, poor Forrest. Poor Forrest. Jenny just wasn't cracked up to what she... Oh, wow. Jenny from the block. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's get that off of the screen now. We got to go with that. Oh, some of these are fantastic. I love how the comedians are talking about all this foreskin. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no way. No, I'm not going there. All right, let's get into this one.
I'm trying to be woke. I actually go in the ladies' restroom now. Sure. Well, because technically I'm a man, but I identify as a pervert.
Oh, I like that. Oh, what's going to happen if TikTok does get banned? Nobody's going to be able to grab these videos and put them on Twitter. Maybe Twitter will actually start doing better with the videos. Who knows? But that was good. Oh my God, trauma. Oh, trauma for sure. Let's get back to here and see where we're going. Oh, what else do we have? Actually, I have more. I forgot some of these ones that I had here. Oh God, this is awesome. This is a new. This is oil field trash on Twitter. I'm gonna follow this guy. He's funny. In order to be inclusive in the oil field, I have now added trans gear to our available PPE. So you totally got it. Oh, awesome. But I think that's about what I got for memes tonight. It's totally imagined. What? Incredibly and sadly, we're being attacked on all fronts. Absolutely. Yeah, we are. YouTube Shorts will get better. Maybe stealing TikTok business is the real plan. That might be the actual plan, honestly. Between Facebook and Google, Alphabet Inc. with YouTube, between the two companies, because I mean, Instagram has Reels and YouTube has Shorts. The thing is, YouTube just needs to make a separate app for Shorts. Like, there needs to be a Shorts app where you can actually make the apps or make the Shorts, because that's why people still use TikTok. It's actually got all the stuff. It's got all the stuff to make it, so people use it. And then there's also like the social part of it, and then there's the, I don't know what it's called, mirroring or whatever, where you have somebody else's TikTok and you can add to the TikTok. If YouTube does all that stuff, just clone it. YouTube's already got it. Like, the shorts are good, but it's only a part of the package. They really need to roll that out. TikTok is definitely drinking some milkshakes. What does that mean? When I hear I identify, I translate it into I imagine. When I hear I identify as, or when I hear my pronouns are, I just think, oh, this is somebody I don't want to associate with. You know what I mean? Like, this person is going to be bossy as hell and is just going to be just a headache to deal with. No thanks. I don't want those people around. I don't need that kind of headache. There's plenty of people to identify. There's plenty of people to associate with. I don't need to associate with people that are going to be a headache for me. No thanks. It's just a straight up no thanks. Hi, how's it going? My name's Clyde. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I identify as, and these are my pronouns. Okay. Nice to have met you. Bye. No thanks. I just don't want to deal with it. It's just a hassle. That's it. And no offense to anybody, whatever. You be you. You be you. But as soon as you want to force something on me, I just don't want to deal with you. I want nothing to do with you. And yeah, that's not the thing. Well, they are LARPing. That's right. They're LARPing, live action role playing as their favorite characters. And that's really all that is. That's when you politely turn around and walk away. That's it. And it's not, And this is where this whole thing is getting crazy, because there's a group of people out there that feel like they're under attack, and they're not. Nobody's attacking them. People are just like, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want you around. Like, if you're gonna be a hassle, I don't want you around me. And then the other half is, stay away from people's kids. Like, seriously, you mess with Mama Bear, you mess with Papa Bear, you're gonna get, you mess with the bull, you get the horns kind of scenario. And this is where we are. And whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, you don't mess with people's kids. You don't do that. And when you do, things get real. I mean, this is the animal kingdom too. You can't forget, we are animals. We are animals. And just like any animal, you get between them and their offspring, you're in for a world of pain. You are. And whoa boy, a particular group of individuals have set it in their sights to do particularly that. And well, we'll get into it. I guess we'll get into this. How do we segue into this? Because there's no real nice way of doing it. Lol, Clyde likes bears. Get out of here, snatch. Funny. But do you have any of those Nepros? What? Nepros in your toolbox? I never heard of Nepros. I don't know what that is. I have Nipex pliers. I have a bunch of those. They're great. I love them. But yeah, no, that's the thing. I work in a BC high school. As soon as I hear pronouns, I slowly back out of the room. Every new course in our second semester was given an information sheet to fill out about what pronouns they want, etc. Yikes. Don't ask, don't care. Stay the F away from our babies. Absolutely. Well, so this has been a fight for a little while. It's been a fight for a hot moment anyway. But in recent light of things that have been going down, it got ugly. I was gonna show that one. Oh, I thought I had that graphic, because I had that before and I was gonna show it and I forgot to put it up on the screen. But this is it's not a coincidence what's going on, and well, people are upset about it, and I don't have the image. Why don't I have the image? That's unfortunate. Anyway, it's the thing. Let's just get into it. What was in the news recently was there was another mass shooting, and immediately, when there's a mass shooting, here's how it goes down in internet and media world. Most people hear about it and they're like, "Oh my God, that's terrible." This sucks, and I hate that this is the thing that we're all hearing. What is this? She is half Japanese, half Canadian. Sent her to Norway to see her boyfriend, and they don't do that over she came back a woman. What? Tokyo D man. Okay. I don't know the context. I'm missing the context there. Anyway, oh geez, that derailed me. Where was I? So the yes, the missing manifest. Okay, that's something we're gonna get into as well. So the school shootings, or we hear about these mass shootings, these individuals that mentally ill, right? And this has been going on for some time, and of course, immediately people want to politicize it, and they want to get right into their cause. Mainly, it's people on the left that are trying to get rid of guns. Guns are the problem. This is why this keeps happening, because people have access to guns. And the whole idea of this is on its face wrong. Guns have been around forever. For like my whole life, guns have been around since before me. Since before my parents, guns have been around. In Canada, we've only started to restrict gun ownership in my lifetime. In America, it's part of the Constitution. The Second Amendment guarantees people the right to bear arms, and it's always been that way. And there hasn't always been these mass shooting events. What's changed? So how do you like, you couldn't do this as a diagnostician. I'm a mechanic. I can't just make up what I want to fix on cars, and like I want to do throttle bodies all day long, and the car comes in with the wheels falling off. I'm like, it needs a throttle body. You have no idea how common this is. It's illogical. It's illogical to say that a thing that's always been around has suddenly become a problem with no other factors involved. In fact, there are a number of factors that have changed over a period of time, and that namely would be, well, pharmaceuticals. And I'm a big advocate of saying, what the heck are we doing to kids' brains? And then on comes, with all of this craziness, comes on this onset of people identifying as all kinds of weird things, genders all over the place, whether it's people say they're trans or they're non-binary or whatever. To get into it, even that doesn't even have its own logic. These people who claim to agree on a thing disagree, because some of them say that gender is non-binary and it's fluid and it's all over the place. But then other people say, well, no, they're trans. Well, what does trans mean? It means you're transitioning from one binary thing to another binary thing. So what is it? You can't have it both ways. But I think personally, it's the craziness that's the attractive feature of it. The crazier it is, the more attractive it is. The more insane it is, the more logical loops you have to jump through, the more of a challenge it is for a lot of these people. It seems to be like the challenge of this whole thing. And there we are. But anyway, nonetheless, there's a lot of people that are going through some serious things in their lives, and they're being, rather than being set straight, a lot of them are being affirmed in what their own beliefs are, or what they were told on the internet that these things are, what they were told by a teacher that's in dereliction of their duties as a guardian or a pseudo guardian for a period of time, in telling them these things that absolutely don't seem to be true. And this isn't to say that some transgendered people haven't been around forever. I mean, that is the case, but it's not to this degree. And it's not because people now, where society's open to it. No, something else is going on. This is hysteria. In my humble opinion, I think that there's some sort of hysteria going on here. And what it's doing is it's taking mentally ill people and it's pushing them into a place where it doesn't fix the problems that they want to fix. And then when that doesn't work, other things come about. And we know about the suicidality of people that fall into this social contagion. Yeah, that's correct. So, the amount of people that end up committing suicide after this because it didn't turn out to be the fix that they thought it would be, but they were affirmed into it, and they didn't get the proper, counseling or therapy that could have helped them. They just, drugged the problem away, like literally drug it, like take drugs and then do all this stuff. And now they're actually, as a political ideological thing, they're banning any psychologist from not affirming somebody's statement. And it's absurd because on its face, you wouldn't affirm anything else. I mean, if somebody came in as and we were talking body dysmorphia, like right along the lines of body dysmorphia. If somebody came in and was bulimic or anorexic, that's a dysmorphia. they believe that they're fat, and they look ill, thin, and are not eating or even making themselves throw up for this, you wouldn't affirm that. You wouldn't say, yeah, you're fat, you need to lose weight. No, that's ridiculous. It's damaging. It's harmful to these people. It's insane. Anyway, so what's made its way into the news is the fact that a lot of these shooting events have been involved with the active shooters were in recent times either non-binary individuals, trans individuals of the sort. And we're not going to get the manifesto. I don't think we're going to get the manifesto from this most recent shooter, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Now, again, this isn't to say that, you know, people when they grow up and become adults, they can't make their own decisions and want to do become the opposite gender. And I hate using the word gender, because gender is just such a dumb construct as an idea to talk. Okay, before we get into this story, I just want to explain this. And I see a lot of chat in the chat because this is a heavy topic, and I know a lot of people want to discuss this, and it's heavy. To affirm that you're fat, the doctor would have to say, eat more. No, to affirm that you think you're fat and you need to get skinny, the doctor would say, yeah, you're fat, eat less, or throw up your food. That would be the affirmation, affirming what the patient thinks that they are. So this gets heavy. Trish Prue with the 550 super chat. Thank you so much. A lot of girls transing are now being diagnosed as autistic much later in the process of transing. Yeah, and it's a lot of times it's other things, and they mistake it for, oh, you're acting like a boy. When I was a kid, there was girls that were into sports, and they were, you know, because you're into sports doesn't mean you're a guy and you need to transition to being a guy. You know, there are women's sports for a reason, because women want to be in sports, or because men want to transition and then dominate it. That's where we're at right now. Oh God, that's where we're at. Yeah, tomboys. I mean, it's always been a thing, and it's never going to change. And at the same time, there are a very, very small percentage of the population that do have the dysmorphia, and, you know, even after counseling and whatnot, they feel like they want to transition, and as adults, whatever. But encouraging this on children is just off, and it's absurd, and it's not scientific. It doesn't follow the literature. The literature actually suggests the opposite, to just let it ride, and let it pass off. Anyway, because of the rhetoric of the left, we found ourselves in a situation where a lot of these people who are mentally ill and are all over TikTok and in their echo chambers and in their hyperbolic chambers. I love that term. But when they're in there, they're being told that they're being oppressed, that they're marginalized. I mean, they're only marginalizing themselves. They're not being oppressed. The entire media apparatus is on their side. This is the most absurd thing. This is what I never understood, is you can't be oppressed while, you know, the NHL is going against the will of their fans, their entire fan base, willing to lose money in order to do a thing for you. You're not oppressed. You're not oppressed when Coca-Cola and, you know, all of the candy companies will make special candies for you just to virtue signal about how much they love you. You're not oppressed. It's not a situation where you're being oppressed. And this is where it lends to how awful this they're only marginalizing themselves. Wise word. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It is an oppression Olympics. I mean, this whole game, that there are so many people that are out there that are inventing new genders because they don't want to actually change anything about themselves. They just want to be oppressed. Well, they want to be, considered oppressed. But nobody knows. None of these people actually know what real oppression is. And this is why, and because of these shooting events and what's going on, is why the LGB community, the original like lesbian, gay, bisexuals, are saying, we've had enough of this. We're out of this and done with you. Now, the reason why this is so big in the news right now is because of the shootings, but because this community is not even apologetic about it. And of course, the manifesto has not leaked. They're not releasing it, which is bizarre because in every other case where there was, a guy with misogynistic ideas or a guy with whatever ideas, they always release the manifesto to rub it in your faces. Hey, look, this is politically aligns with our political enemies, and let's try to blur the lines between that and this guy, and here you go, and that's a political tool. So it's pretty telling that the manifesto has not been released, and this is it. What is the answer, Clyde? We'll get to that soon enough. We got to get through this whole story. It's a journey. It's a journey we're on. So this is something we're gonna have to do. Did you hear about the big burly guy that entered the women's powder lifting competition to show up the trans guy? No, I didn't. But that sounds funny. But here's the thing. It's kind of a messy topic, and it kind of goes all over the place. And I'll give you my opinions on where I think that where I think we should go with this, and where I think we should not go, and maybe where some people are going, and where maybe we should tone it back and not do certain things. So let's go through this journey together. And here I'm going to start with a clip from Tucker Carlson's show where he had where he had a guest on. Oh, I forget his name. I wish I remembered his name. He's an awesome dude. He's a gun advocate from the U.S. and he's on Tucker's show. And here's the clip here.
Back to the stats. Like the vast majority of these shootings are committed with handguns. I mean, we're talking the vast majority. Right. So for them to follow it up immediately after and talk about what is used a fraction of the time in these shootings, it kind of speaks very loudly to how disingenuous they are about actually looking for a solution. They're trying to get a goal, and the goal essentially is to get gun control. That's really all they care about. So it's almost as if they wait for these types of tragedies to happen so that they can leverage it to get their goal. Because if we were talking solutions, we wouldn't be talking about a gun that's used a fraction of the time in these types of shootings. We'd be talking about, okay, how do we take what are soft targets and make them hard? It's not even mentioned. And then when it's brought up, they say things like, well, we don't want our schools to look like prisons. Why are we talking aesthetics when we're talking about the safety of our children?
Can I ask a question? Like, what if you really cared about the murder of innocents? And I think most people, I do, people who disagree with me and everything, I think people do care. But if you were rational about it, you would want to know all the factors that led to it, and you'd want a tox screen from the blood of the killer. Like, a lot of these people seem like they're on an awful lot of pharmaceuticals. What are those pharmaceuticals? Why can't we know that? And if they describe their motive...
We know why we can't know that. Because they're the biggest lobby and the regulatory capture that they have. We learned that over the pandemic. I know it's a rhetorical question, but I'm answering it out loud.
In writing, in a manifesto, why can't we see that? I don't understand. I mean, we're being lied to.
Yes.
While the children haven't even been buried yet. I don't know why no one else is offended by that.
You know, that's interesting you said that, Tucker. I actually was talking with a good friend of mine, and he stated the same thing. He was like, all of these things have been released to us rather quickly. We have the video of the cops actually taking down the suspect. We have all of this information, except for the information that really matters most to get to the deeper issue involved here. Because you got to think about the type of mentality and mindset of somebody who can look at a child, point a gun at them, and pull the trigger. That's dark.
That is dark.
Or possibly there's something else going on here, but we don't know. We can't get any insight because, as you pointed out simply, we don't have that information and they don't want to give it to us.
But they never want to explain why anything happens. Why did 9/11 happen? I still don't know. I honestly don't. I mean that. They hate our freedoms. Okay, but what's the... Really? Was there more to it than that? Why did Russia invade Ukraine? It seemed like kind of counterintuitive. Why'd they do that? Why do these men...
Tucker's gonna get. Oh my God, he's asking all the questions. Wow, Tucker's getting more and more based all the time, which is pretty funny. But holy cow, he might be putting himself at some serious risk here. Absolutely, and that's that. So it's absolutely true. So we don't know what the motives were. Well, I mean, we know, and we can infer by the fact that, well, it was. The manifesto won't be getting the light of day. Like, we won't be seeing it. And well, the fact that and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how transparent it is. But moving on. So the optics did not look good. The optics were looking terrible because as soon as it happened, everybody was, the left immediately ban the guns. We got to ban the guns. Well, as soon as they found out who the perpetrator was, and often the case is, if it doesn't fit the description of the people that they want it to fit, then they just go silent about it. They just, okay, this isn't our one. We can't do the ban the guns thing because, it didn't fit the guy. But in fact, this absolutely was completely the opposite of their messaging that they've been putting forward. The manifesto is said to be a vicious rant against Christianity. I absolutely believe that. I would believe that. But I would love to see it. I want it to be published and be out there because people need to know the truth about what's going on. And here's the thing. Right? It totally doesn't fit the narrative. Apparently, because in the narrative is Christians are the bad guys. Christians can't be the victims. That doesn't fit the narrative. And, transgender people, they're the victims. They're the victims in this. They can't be the bad guys. But it turns out that's almost systematically becoming the case. Christians are being victimized. And like I said, I've said this many times on the show, on the live streams, on the podcast. I'm not a particularly religious person. I don't go to church. I'm not against it, though. In fact, if I ever give to charity, it's usually to a church group. It's usually to a local church because I know the money will actually go to the thing that they say it's going to go to. I trust them more. I trust them way more. But again, I'm not anti-religious. I can't stand that. I can't stand those types out there. And this is what's going on. There's an anti-religious, but it's not anti-religious because it seems to be going after one particular religion. They wouldn't dare speak out against any of the others. But when it comes out, I mean, you can be agnostic. Yeah, well, I mean, I just here's how I live. I live by the teachings that I grew up with, and I grew up Christian. I just don't think about it much, and I go about my day and my life, and it's not really something that I think about much. But I absolutely empathize with people who go to church and do that. And I think a lot of people who go to church are good people, and especially the ones that go above and beyond and actually volunteer to do community stuff. I so much props for those people, and I'm always willing to either, if I have the time, lend my time, but I always lend my money. I put my money where my mouth is when it comes to that, because they're doing good. They're doing good in the communities, and they don't ask for anything of people, and that's something that's a virtuous thing, and I see it as good. But what's happening is that the narrative is not fitting, and this in particular, this case, really blew that out of the water. And of course they want it to go away. They want it to go away so bad because people just, it was like the cat got out of the bag, right? They opened up Pandora's box. You're not going to close it again. People have seen it. People have seen it now, and they're like, holy cow, these people who you've been saying are marginalized and victimized are actually not only like losing it, but they're the victimizers, and they're victimizing the people who you said were the bad guys. And here we are, and this is where it's going. Andy No on Twitter here, it says, breaking, Our Rights DC, the Antifa group, co-organized the Trans Day of Vengeance. I don't know. How do you, especially after that, the Trans Day of Vengeance, even if there wasn't a shooting, even if that didn't occur. Really? They get away with this kind of language. They can say this kind of language and it's just fine. As if they cannot do any wrong. You know, somewhat fiery but peaceful protest. That kind of language comes out of the media about it. But yeah, they organizing the Trans Day of Vengeance. Clyde, how do you feel about gays and lesbians wanting LGB back? Yeah. No, I'm totally in support of it. And I've said this many times on the channel. I hope everybody just lives their life and is happy doing the thing that they want to do. If you feel a certain way and you want to live your life a certain way, there's nothing I should do to get in your way with that. You know what I mean? It's up to you. As long as you're doing things and it's consensual and you're not harming anybody, not my issue. Not my issue. I don't care. I don't care. Do you? But yeah, of course, LGB is and they've been trying to distance themselves from this, but this was the catalyst. This is absolutely the catalyst that set it off, and people in this community, and mind you, gay and lesbian people had it hard for a long time. These trans people, people who are claiming to be trans, because I mean, a lot of people are calling it transgender or whatever, right? And people are actually taking back the word transvestite and saying that this is the language that people should be using. I don't know what you should be using. Use the language you want to use, but yeah. They're not victims of anything. Now, gay and lesbian people historically, they had a hard time, and now they don't. They've won. There's a lot of things that society's gone over, and now people just don't care what they do with their lives. That's the end of the story. They don't need, you have the odd case where people are browbeating each other. Oh, you got to bake me a cake for my, no, okay, get out of town. Don't have to. Don't interrupt my life. I won't interrupt your life. And then we just call it good. Anyway, the Antifa group co-organizing the Trans Day of Vengeance in the U.S. Capitol has announced it's canceling the controversial direct action planned for Saturday. They blame trans genocide and threats against them following the trans mass shooting in Nashville. Before the shooting, one of the organizing groups had been raising money for weapons training. Not kidding. This action is happening due to credible threat to life and safety. Yes, you guys are a credible threat. Our Rights DC saying, this action will not be taking place Saturday due to a credible threat to life and safety. The safety of our trans community is first priority. This threat is the direct result of the flood of raw hatred directed towards the trans community after the Tennessee shooting. Why? I wonder why. Individuals who had nothing to do with this heinous act have been subjected to highly serious threats and blamed only because of their gender identity. This is one of the steps in genocide, and we will continue our efforts to protect the trans lives. Listen, nobody's threatening anybody. But if you've been all over social media saying stuff, yeah, you're going to get reactions. You're going to get reactions, especially after this. While we wholeheartedly believe in the mission and message we put forth for Trans Day of Vengeance, we must prioritize the safety of our community and the people that make it up. Because that's what vengeance is about. Safety. Oh, yeah. How do you even go through this? This is just insane. So, yeah, violent extremist group, SoCal Antifa, whose members have been convicted in San Diego for a violent conspiracy, and here's the case number, because this is what a real journalist does. Thank you, Andy. No. Are promoting their own Trans Day of Vengeance on March 31st. Did you see what Karine Jean-Pierre said to the press? Oh, I should pull that one up. How do you spell that? I can never remember how she spells her name. Yeah, I'll pull that up. I have censored the post, including the address of where they plan to be, because of Twitter safety rules that could lock me out for reporting about this. So Cal Antifa have organized attacks at the Y Spa and other locations in Southern California. They're organizing attacks. Actual attacks. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is just insane. And also reporting one of the groups behind the upcoming Trans Day of Vengeance had been raising money for firearms and weapons training. And there's an article from Daily Mail talking about just that. Controversial group behind... Okay, I'll allow ads. Get out of here. Controversial group behind Trans Day of Vengeance raised money for firearms training as other trans protesters pose with guns ahead of march in DC on Saturday. You telling me these people are... Jeez, man. Jeez. These people are posing with firearms, calling it a day of vengeance. And meanwhile, there are people locked up for being escorted through the Capitol on January 6th. This is insane to me. Now, this isn't... You think that this would be some isolated thing where this is just, this isolated group. They're not getting it, where are they getting it from, right? Where are they getting it from? Oh yeah, they're just in their echo chamber and they're saying it to each other, and this is what's radicalizing them, and this is why they've become so radical, right? No, they're getting it from mainstream sources. Here's Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, aptly named show, by the way. It's like a group of young Germans calling themselves the Hitler's Youth for a YouTube show. The Young Turks. If you don't know what the Young Turks were the people in Turkey back in the 1930s. I think it was the 30s. That committed the genocide against the Armenians in Turkey, which is just absolutely insane that anyone would name themselves such a horrendous thing. But this guy, who's been on YouTube for a long time, Cenk Uygur. He's Hassan Abi, who works for the Young Turks. Yeah, Hassan Abi's his nephew, and he's on Twitch. The liberal platform of Twitch. I should get into Twitch one day. I should pull in. I have a friend who knows some stuff behind the scenes at Twitch, who could shed some light on what's going on there. Anyway, Cenk Uygur, who's always been anti-gun, wants to pulls that. He's the guy who, when a mass shooting comes in, well, getting in there. We're gonna tell everybody to get rid of the guns. No, he had a different idea when it came to transgendered people. He wants to arm them. This was 3 days before the shooting in Nashville, Tennessee.
I'll be a little bit of a hypocrite here, but it's not. I'll explain why I'm saying it. I don't like guns. I would ban assault weapons in a second. We can go on and on about the gun control that we need in this country. And I always tell people, don't get guns. It'll make you less safe. I'm gonna make an exception here for trans people. They are actually in danger. They have had hundreds of laws passed against them. They have right-wing media ginning up fear against them 24/7. They are targeted more than any other group in America. And if anyone should get guns, it should be trans Americans, okay? Because I'm worried for them. I'm worried that the right-wing lunatics are going to attack them as they have over and over again. And by the way, it's not just right-wing lunatics, other people attack trans folks as well. I'll be a little...
When is the question? When does that happen? I mean, you're supposed to be reporting on the news. If I reported on something that was untrue, my audience would call me out on it. They'd be like, that's not true. You can't say that. What are you doing, Clyde? How does this guy say stuff that's completely not true? And then 3 days later, what happens? Someone in the trans community does get guns and goes and shoots children. Trish Prue with a $5.50 super chat. Thank you so much. Twitter is removing all mention of the Trans Day of Vengeance. I'm surprised, actually. I could see Facebook doing that. I could see yeah, that's interesting to hear that that's a thing. Huh. Oh, Oilfield Trash followed me back. Nice. Sorry. That was the guy with the the Vizzy panties. That was great. Anyway, yeah, this is unbelievable. But is it not predictable? You're talking about a group that you've made an echo chamber of mentally ill people. And you've told them, you've convinced them that there are people out to get them. There's nobody out to get them. The only thing people think about them is, oh God, I just hope I don't run into one of them. Oh, I just don't want to hear about it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the complaints. I don't want to deal with somebody filing a complaint against me because I didn't look at them right, or like you got to walk on eggshells around them, and they want to be in the bathroom, and that's awkward, and all the things. Nobody's coming to get them. Nobody's going for them. But this is the rhetoric. This is the rhetoric that you hear from people like Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. Cenk Uygur saying that they need to get guns to shoot right-wingers in case the right-wingers come to attack them, which isn't happening. It isn't happening. Who else is saying this? Here's another clip from Tucker Carlson. This is Representative Marjorie. I always pronounce that wrong. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Think of her what you want, but she posted this. Her official account was temporarily suspended. It happens a lot to this one, but this is again another clip.
As far as we know, that has never. It was just last week that we noticed that parts of the transgender movement seem to be getting militant and possibly dangerous. We did a whole segment about it on Thursday night. That segment was sparred by an NPR segment we had heard and never expected to hear. NPR has always, as a matter of editorial policy, completely opposed the civilian ownership of firearms, with the possible exception of maybe IRS agents. Yet here suddenly was that very same station, National Public Radio, positively urging trans people to buy guns, as many guns as possible.
Oh, I gotta pause this. I like this comment here. I still have a friend that complains about how the Freedom Convoy slowed traffic for a day. Therefore, the whole thing was right-wing extreme. Imagine living your life so entirely closed-minded. It's unbelievable. Unreal.
And if necessary, to use them. The world is dangerous, explained one trans gun owner. You have to be dangerous back. And that seems strange to us. Is the United States really a dangerous place for trans people? Well, West Baltimore is dangerous. You could easily get murdered there. Mm-hmm. But if you're trans in this country, obviously there are many downsides, but there do appear to be some benefits. It's a lot easier to get into Harvard, for example. It's definitely easier to get a job at Citibank or in the Biden White House. If you're transgender can so much as fly a kite, the Pentagon will happily make you an F-35 pilot, just so Hollywood can make a movie about it. Identifying as trans, whatever, again, its downsides, does convey status in this country, which is why so many young people now do. Not a lot of 19-year-olds are pretending to be car mechanics or linemen for a regional power company in eastern Ohio, but plenty of college freshmen do pretend to be members of the opposite sex. And why wouldn't they? The people in charge despise working-class whites, but they venerate the trans community. People are just responding to incentives. It's rational in a way. But that does not explain the anger that we heard in that NPR segment. Why are some trans people so angry, and why do they seem to be mad specifically at traditional Christians? We can't think of any trans person who's ever been murdered by a pastor. As far as we know, that has never happened. So it's not an actual threat of violence from Christians that's inspiring some trans people to buy AR-15s. No, it's got to be more fundamental than that, and it is. The trans movement is the mirror image of Christianity, and therefore its natural enemy. In Christianity, the price of admission is admitting that you're not God. Christians openly concede that they have no real power over anything, and for that matter, very little personal virtue. They will tell you to your face that they are sinful and helpless and basically absurd. They're not embarrassed about any of this. They brag about it. That saved a wretch like me, goes the most famous Christian hymn ever written in English. The trans movement takes the opposite view. Trans ideology claims dominion over nature itself. We can change the identity we were born with, they will tell you with wild-eyed certainty. Christians can never agree with this statement because these are powers they believe God alone possesses. That unwillingness to agree, that failure to acknowledge a trans person's dominion over nature, incites and enrages some in the trans community. People who believe they're God can't stand to be reminded that they're not. So Christianity and transgender orthodoxy are wholly incompatible theologies. They can never be reconciled. They are on a collision course with each other. One side is likely to draw blood before the other side. That's what we concluded last week. Yesterday morning, tragically, our fears were confirmed.
Unreal.
A self-identified trans person called Audrey Hale committed mass murder at a Christian school in Nashville. Hale burst into a place called the Convent School and executed 3 9-year-olds as well as 3 adults. Police have released body cam footage from the end of the massacre. We're showing you just a small part of it. You can see the rest online if you want.
I gotta say, hats off to those guys. Excellent work. Amazing. Going in there, and you know, there were minutes before they were on the scene, and then they went in and they made very quick work of taking care of the threat. I mean, under 3 minutes, yeah. There's only so much you can do when you're not right there, right? When you're not there when it kicks off. But they got there fast and they made quick work of it. Yeah, thank God for good cops. Seriously. This is this hurts me because I got young kids of my own, right? And it really, really upsets me.
We're not going to show it because that's too awful and sad. But what was almost as sickening to see in a far more subtle and insidious way was the media coverage of yesterday's tragedy. Here's Terry Moran of ABC News, for example, suggesting that Christians were murdered in Tennessee because they infringed on the rights of transgendered people. Watch.
Audrey Hale identified herself as a transgender person. The state of Tennessee earlier this month passed and the governor signed a bill that banned transgender medical care for minors, as well as a law that prohibited adult entertainment, including male and female impersonators, after a series of drag show controversies in that state.
The state of Tennessee bans the sexual mutilation of children. Children get shot to death in a school. It's cause and effect. That's what ABC News is telling you. That's not far from justifying mass murder, but others took the next step. A group called the Trans Resistance Network said that the shooter's death was a complex tragedy that resulted from, quote, anti-trans bias. The Hershey Chocolate Company's new trans spokesman, meanwhile...
Oh, that jumped there. Now, the trans... I don't even remember the name of it, but it is an organization involved with the trans community. They put out a public statement, and it was an apology letter. It was worse. It was like, it sounded like an apology from a narcissistic wife beater to his wife. Like, I can't believe you made me do this type of argument. Why it was a double tragedy, not that it was a tragedy that the event took place and we lost some good people. But it was, they were saying that it was a tragedy that of society and why this person was pushed into it. Nobody pushed that person into it. And again, nobody is subjugating or marginalizing trans people. It's not happening. Even on the right, the Christian right. What one of the biggest popular YouTubers, conservative YouTubers, Blair White, is a tranny. Like, this is the reality of the situation. It's like people are so mixed up on what's true and what's real, and they filled their head with this rhetoric, and it doesn't exist. It's not the reality of the situation. People saying you're trying to erase us, blah blah blah. No, nobody's trying to erase anybody. You do you as an adult, but there is a discussion about children. The Trans Day of Vengeance has been canceled due to a credible threat to life and safety. This is from the Post-Millennial. Love this website. Go check it out for sure. Bookmark it. I have mine bookmarked for sure. Clyde for president. Seriously, though. More people should push that message. See, this is the thing. I don't try to get onto a rhetorical argument. I have a message, but my message is nuanced. It's nuanced, so it's not the easy little plug and play, make a slogan, go on with it. Because I actually believe in freedoms for people, and that includes adult people having the freedom to become trannies if they want. If that's your prerogative, good on you, go for it. But again, not when it comes to children. You can't subject subject children to sexual things. It's a crime. It's absolutely a crime. Breaking: Trans Day of Vengeance canceled due to credible threat to life and safety. Where is the credible threat? Our Rights DC, the group behind Saturday's Trans Day of Vengeance protest outside the Supreme Court, has announced that the event has been canceled due to a credible threat to life and safety. The event, which was originally scheduled to the Transgender Day of Visibility, as designated by President Joe Biden, was widely criticized following Monday's mass shooting in Nashville, which trans-identified 28-year-old Audrey Hale murdered 6 people, including 3 children. Almost a 30-year-old woman did this. This action will not be taking place on Saturday due to a credible threat. No credible threat was given. The group went on to state that they has notified authorities regarding this threat. Oh God, the confusing. I don't know if that's a typo or if that's how they actually identify as a they, right? This is why it's so confusing, and this is why people just don't want to deal with it, right? People just don't want to deal with it. And the story continues. The story continues. And here we are in Canada. And this is the stuff that they're pulling on kids. And I'm going to have to take a minute before we get into this. I'm going to have to take a minute to explain a few things. So there is a difference between transgender and drag queens. There is a complete difference. Drag queens are not transgenders. And this is where everything gets all confused and everything's getting all mixed up. A drag queen is typically a straight man who wants to dress up as a woman for a burlesque comedy show. And these shows, they're typically comedy shows where they go over the top and they pretend to be like the most over the top caricature of what they think a woman is. And it's usually very crude, it's very sexual in nature, and it's very much a burlesque, adult-themed type of a show. Now, transgender individuals, I think the term gender is stupid. So, transsexual, transvestite, what do you want to call them? The language is up to you. I'm not the arbiter or the police of language. Use the language that you want to. But Monty Python did make some good jokes about that back in the day. But let me just explain a little bit of the background when it comes to gender. Gender is a construct. It is a construct, but not like they're saying. It's not a social construct. It's a grammatical construct in the English language. Not necessarily in all other languages, but all other languages have genders in other ways. But in English, we have 4 genders. There's not 2 genders, there's 4. 4 genders. Those 4 genders include masculine, feminine. Those can be confused with sexes, male and female. Those not the same. We're talking about grammar here. We're not talking about actual things. And I'll tell you what. Living organisms have sexes. They have sexes. Living beings have sexes. But inanimate objects don't. Right? They don't have sexes. So we need to have a way of describing that in a grammatical syntax way. And the way we do it in English is with the 3rd gender, and that's neuter. Neuter means there is no gender. You can't assign a gender to it, so we're not going to use gendered language for that, or the gender of the language for that is neuter, meaning it's not masculine or feminine. What's the 4th one? Indeterminate. Indeterminate is a thing that you use for nouns that you don't know what the gender of the thing it's describing is. I know this sounds like convoluted way of explaining it, but this is how you can really just explain it simply. What is a dog? What gender is a dog? Well, the gender for a dog in the actual grammatical construct of it is indeterminate. Because you don't know if the dog has sexual, male sexual organs or female sexual organs. So you just say dog is indeterminate. But as soon as you say a word like bull or bitch, you know what it is, right? Because the gender is, the construct is based on, it's a gendered word. That is a gendered word for masculine or feminine. Cows are the same. You have cattle, you have a bull, you have cows, all kinds of animals. We have this stuff, and this is how it's explained, right? A microphone is neuter. There's no possibility of it having a what is this? French uses pronouns for inanimate objects. Oh, yeah, I know. And this is why, like, this gender ideology crap gets confusing when you go into other languages, because then they have to come up with new ideas on how to make it make sense. So yes, gender is a construct, but it's a grammatical construct. It's a construct in language. It's not a construct in physical beings. Physical beings have sexes. People have sexes. Animals have sexes. Cars have nothing. My car will always be a she. Well, yeah, you can assign that if you want to, but that's personification. That's different. That's a completely other literary thing that you're doing there. And what you're doing is you're anthropomorphizing something. So you're giving it human characteristics or animal type characteristics. It's usually human characteristics. So that's called anthropomorphism. You're doing that. But that's another thing. So here's the thing. Gender is the wrong word to be using to describe a person. You don't describe their gender. You say their sex. That's the thing. Are you male or are you female? if you said gender, what's your gender, and you said male, that's actually technically incorrect. If you were to say the gender, you would say, oh, feminine, masculine, indeterminate, neuter. Those are the four in the English language. So yeah, this is the actual difference. Tell me, please tell me that this whole mess isn't the result of failing school system who never explained the difference between gender and sex. Yes, it is. Well, it's partially. It's partially that, because that's how people fall for it. But it's called sophistry. It's not being true in your arguments. It's misguiding people intentionally, and that's what's going on. When you know what the truth is, then you're like, oh, geez. When did English majors start becoming car mechanics? Get out of here. I'm not an English major at all. I learned this in high school. This should be basics. This should be basics. Yeah, it's intellectual dishonesty. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So here we are. We're playing this gender game. This isn't the reality of the situation. Men are men, women are women. And yeah, there's all kinds of people have different personality types, and people are either, there are feminine men and there are masculine women and there are ultra masculine men. And I hate using the term spectrum because it's just all over the place. It's just all over the place. People they just behave the way they behave. And there's nothing wrong with people behaving a certain way until it becomes a problem. And usually it becomes a problem because other people are not happy with the way they're being treated because of other people's behavior. This is what's happening here. But anyway, here we go. We're in Canada, and things are being confused because people are confusing transgender and like transsexuals and transvestites with drag queens. Now, drag queens, again, is a very adult thing. It is an adult thing, and they're trying to make it normal for children. And this is where it gets really gross. Canadian State TV just put out a special on normalizing drag to kids. Here's some of it.
Why are you nervous? But I meant, I've never met anyone that's not.
Do you see the look on his face?
Why are you nervous? But I meant, I've never.
He looks this person up and down. He's just like, okay, you're a freak. I'm not even making eye contact with you. You can't even make eye contact. It's just like, what are you doing? This is not right.
I've never met anyone that's not. I can't really explain.
Is this your first time seeing a drag queen?
Yes.
How does...
Now, mind you, all these kids are told, you're a bigot, by society. You're a bigot if you don't go along with this. If you don't go along with this, you're one of those right-wingers, and you're horrible, and you're awful. So they've been browbeaten before going into this whole scenario. And then you wonder why they're so damn awkward. Because it's like going into the room 101 in 1984. You're like, so what's 2 plus 2? You're like, it's 5. It's 5. Can I just get out of here, please? What are you doing? Oh God, they're coming down on me.
Is this your first time seeing a drag queen?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Excited, but a little bit nervous.
Poor thing.
I'm a little bit nervous. I've never seen a drag queen before.
And what do you think?
I think it's cool.
It's great?
Yeah.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know, it's just different and new. Yeah.
Do you think that...
I've never been interrogated by the state apparatus before. God. When did the torches come out? I wanted to keep the soles of my feet okay. Oh God. This is just horrendous.
Boy can wear makeup?
Yes.
And would you agree that makeup is for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What would you What would they say if the kid said no? No, that's for girls. No, it's not okay if boys wear it. That's icky. Don't do it. You know, what would they say? Would they even air it? I wonder if there was interviews like that and they just won't show it.
Where do you buy your drag clothes?
I bought this at Value Village, secondhand. I make a lot of it, and sometimes I'll buy things secondhand.
He won't even make eye. He's having a hard time with the eye contact thing. Oh God. Oh God. Poor champ. Poor champ. He just wants to get through his day, and like he's got. Oh God. Oh God. Just poor kids. Poor kids. But this is the stuff that's coming out of our state apparatus, right? That's state-run media. Here we have the Canadian Army saying, today, on the International Transgender Day of Visibility, we reaffirm our commitment to providing an open and inclusive work environment for those Canadians who serve their country with pride and foster a culture where everybody is free to be their authentic selves. When has the military been in the business of doing this stuff? Oh my God. You know, our enemies, if we have enemies out there, they're looking at that and going, oh, okay. So when's the invasion? When's the invasion? When are we taking Canada? It's a shoo-in. It's gonna be easy. They gave all their weapons to Ukraine, and now they're having Transgender Day of Affirmations. Hey, when are we storming the beaches? God. But it gets worse. No, it actually gets worse. Ian Miles Chong putting this out on Twitter. The Trudeau government in Canada is sponsoring drag summer camp, a summer camp for children ages 7 to 11 to become drag queens. Absolutely degenerate. Yes, it's real. Oh, I'm jumping the gun here. Yes, it is real. And here's the website here. Theater, young group, drama school, plays, all this stuff. Junior drag camp, July 4th through 7th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Ages 7 through 11. Tuition includes drag makeup kit. Now, I explained this earlier, what drag is. It's an adult burlesque thing, right? This is something that men do, largely straight men. But what's most disturbing is at the bottom. What they're... Unreal. I'm just going to pop this open, because this is Maxime Bernier putting this out there. Mike St. John, thank you so much. Clyde, do something. You don't get paid enough for this reporting. Please keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much. I do what I can. Maxime Bernier saying, this is utterly disgusting. Camp indoctrinating kids as young as 7 with gender ideology and sexual confusion are now being promoted and subsidized by all government levels. Now, that's not absolutely true. The whole gender ideology is messed up. So this is separate from gender ideology, but it is a thing, and it's really blurring the lines. But he points it out right here. Who's sponsoring this thing? City of Vancouver, Canada Council for the Arts, British Columbia Art Council, British Columbia government, Granville Island, the government of Canada. Tax dollars are going towards this. It's disgusting. And of course, they're showing the pictures of these famous drag kids. I don't know if Max put this in there, but these are kids that were put in the limelight in the United States. I can't remember the kid's name, Desmond something. But there was a clip of this kid with some other drag queens talking about doing ketamine. The kid brought it up in a live stream that they were having. Oh, God. I don't even know where to go with this. I don't know what. Ugh. It's unusual. It's definitely unusual. But here we are. Here we are. Yeah, that's right. Ketamine. They call it the street drug called Special K. It's a animal tranquilizer. But it's also been used as a date rape drug. It's yeah, a bunch of stuff. So here we are. We're in a situation where this stuff is pretty prevalent, and stuff needs to be done about it. You need to really understand where the differences are in all of this stuff, and what the differences are. The drag queen thing is, again, an adult burlesque thing that they're trying to push on children, but that is a separate issue from the gender ideology stuff that they're also pushing on children. And included in that gender ideology stuff is again, sexual in nature, pushing books on children in school. And Clyde, you should see a new Dutch show where naked transgendered adults display themselves and the positive of changing, highlighted by Ben Shapiro today. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to see that. But there are differences here, and then there's also what to do about it, right? What to do about it. And Wayne Allen with the 550 super chat. I protested transitioning kids in front of the Vernon courthouse today. Wow. Okay. So I was just about to get into this. I was just about to get into where protests and things like that would be appropriate. Protesting in front of the courthouse, absolutely appropriate. Going to the school board meetings and protesting there, or going in and speaking and saying speaking your mind, that is appropriate. Going to these drag shows as they're taking place, probably less appropriate. And here's why. This is the fuel that everybody is looking for. All of the Cenk Uygurs and all of these medias. This is what they want. They want to have people freaking out and being at the place where the thing's happening, and a clash going down, and people saying, look at these crazy right-wingers and what they did. And it doesn't matter if you did or you didn't do anything crazy. They'll wait until an opportune moment, someone agitates you, and then you retaliate, and they'll only show the retaliation. This is the way it works. This is how media works. And that's not what anybody's after. So what I would say is, if you have an objection to some of the drag shows that are happening, and you know that there's an event where children are being subjected to sexualized things, there are laws against that. Don't go to the place where it's occurring. I'd say go to your local police station and raise a stink. Bring a pile of people with you. Raise a stink. Say, you're not enforcing the laws. There are children over here being subjected to sexualized material. You can't, that it's against the law. Go and enforce the law and say your piece there and move on. Don't get into confrontations with these people, because I don't think that's an appropriate way of doing things. But that's just my opinion, and people do what they want, and they're gonna do their own thing. But yeah, there's always definitely a time and a place in which to raise your concerns and combat this stuff. But that's it. We have, you are right, Clyde. They want people to drag at the drag shows. hey, parents, keep your kids away from there. Yeah, just keep your kids away from there and get out there. Tell the cops, like, go to the cop shop and say, listen, there's a crime in progress right now. Why don't you go and get to your job? Exacto, Clyde. They're trying to make us do something. That poor young man who keeps getting arrested because mutants attack him. Yeah, well, he's making a name for himself at the same time, but yeah, it's you're just gonna get in a conflict. And it's gonna be, exactly what they wanted, and I would suggest not to do that, but that, again, that's my opinion, and everybody's free to do what they do on their own. I got banned from Reddit for commenting. Reddit, you got banned from Reddit for saying something that's not completely left wing? Yeah, no, I get it. This is why people don't use Reddit. Oh, my kid's trying to get in the room, but. And he's shouting at me. I don't know if you guys can hear that, and that's very distracting. I gotta tell him to go. I gotta tell him to go. Hey, you gotta go. Oh, okay. Hi. Yikes, these things happen. If he doesn't come right in the room, then he'll just hang out of the door and shake the handle and scream at me. Daddy, you gotta do stuff. That's cute though. Bless his little socks. Yeah, absolutely. No, he's great. And he's right at that age right now where, like, it's happened actually just like in the last couple of weeks where I've just become a rock star for him. I come home and he's just, he would always come to the door and greet me, but now I'm a rock star. That's a different thing. Hold events in your own communities to prevent these movements from taking a hold on your neighborhoods. Yeah, hold events, but make them positive events, and just raise awareness, do some stuff, talk about how subjecting these things to children is bad for their mental health, and just look at the situation that's going on, and that's it. You want to raise your children to have a healthy way of looking at the world, a healthy way of engaging with individuals. If they're subjected to this stuff so early, especially so early, it's not good. It's not good for their psyche. They need to grow up and develop let children have their innocence. I just really don't understand this push to sexualize children. It's evil. It's actually evil, in my opinion. But that's me. Here I am talking about this on the internet. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Donald Trump. He's being indicted. This is Bill C-11. Oh, geez, we were going to talk about that too. I did a video on it, so should I even get into it? Briefly on Donald Trump. I mean, there's not a lot to know. Stormy Daniels was, paid off, whatever. It's not against the law to pay off a stripper or a porn star. It's not against the law, but whatever. They say that it was campaign finances, but if it was him paying his own campaign finances, there's no shortage, or there's no limitation on how much you can give yourself in campaign finances. Anyway, they got a DA to indict him. Now, by the way, a grand jury for an indictment, it's like 24 people, and you only have to get 12 of them. So they managed to get 50% of the grand jury, which last week said no. So finally beat them into at least half of them going along with it. And the charges are going to get dropped, but they just want that perp walk. They want to say that they had him indicted. But this is the most telling thing of all. Nancy Pelosi here saying the grand jury has acted upon the facts and the law. No one is above the law, and everyone has the right to a trial to prove their innocence. Holy cow. Holy cow. This is unreal. Hopefully, the former president will peacefully respect the system which grants him that right. I'm sorry, Nancy Pelosi, but you don't have the right to prove your innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. That's how the system works. This is just craziness, right? And this is a former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. This is just how crazy this whole thing is now. The just kangaroo courts and going after him. It's literally it's not I have a crime and I need to find out who did it. No, it's I have a guy and I need to find a crime that he committed. And yeah, now he has to prove his innocence. Sorry, but no, it's innocent until proven guilty. But above, who are the people that are above the law? Well, here we got from Josh Dunlop saying, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, Joe Biden, Merrick Garland, Eric Holder, James Clapper, John Brennan, Alexander Vindman, James Comey, Dr. Fauci, Peter Strzok, Nancy Pelosi herself, Hunter Biden. All of these people are evidently above the law. But no one's above the law, and everybody has the right to prove their innocence in a court of law. You're guilty until you come in and prove your innocence. That's where we are. It's unbelievable. And here's another fun story that I found before going live here. Let's get the chat out of the way here real quick. Chinese Canadians are more likely to think election interference is true than false, a poll says. Oh, God. Are we really that naive as natural-born Canadians? The people who emigrated here from corrupt communist China, the country that... And this is another thing, like, I can't believe people have this much faith in government. You really want government to be that involved in all this stuff? The Chinese people know what happens when the government's involved in that much. How many tens of millions of people died at the hands of that regime? Chinese Canadians are more likely to believe that the communist Chinese regime actively interfered in Canada's elections than to doubt the allegations, according to a new poll. In a Ledger poll released on Thursday, 34% of Chinese Canadians say that they believe Chinese state representatives pressured their community into promoting Chinese government objectives, whereas 27% doubted the allegations. The rest of them ran away from the pollsters. I don't know. Belief was tied to the amount of time respondents spent living outside of China, the report noted. Chinese Canadians who have immigrated to Canada less than 10 years ago were almost twice as likely to agree with the allegations, it said. Crazy, crazy. Chiffy's Outdoors, thank you for gifting 10 memberships to the community. Everybody out there that just got a new membership, Chippy's Outdoors, make sure to give him a big old thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, my man. I appreciate that. The group agrees as a majority, 57%, while those who immigrated more than 10 years ago had less confidence, 32%. Chinese Canadians born in Canada were least likely to think foreign government was pursuing Canadians or pressuring Canadians, 30%. Just more than 1 in 20 said that they had personally experienced pressure from the Chinese government. Holy cow! The poll has witnesses. Oh, God, this is hilarious. The survey comes after multiple national security officials reportedly leaked intelligence documents to the media, including reports that China interfered in multiple Canadian elections. That was after they told the PMO, the Prime Minister's office, and the Prime Minister did sweet FA about it. Earlier this month, Canadian Security Intelligence Services officials reportedly told the Globe and Mail that Chinese state actors made concerted efforts to interfere in Vancouver's 2022 mayoral election. What? CSIS officials also reportedly told Global News that Chinese Canadians were coerced into voting for MP Han Dong, allegedly Beijing's preferred candidate, during candidacy race in Don Valley North riding of Ontario. Dong resigned from the Liberal caucus in March. The now independent MP has since threatened to take legal action against Global News, because that's what you do. You resign when you're innocent, and then you take legal action against the people who alleged the thing. But whatever. That may be true. That may be false. I don't know. Don't sue me, Han Dong. Oh, God. I just wanted to throw that one out there because it's just incredible. It's incredible where we are as of yet. And so far, this is outrageous. It's outrageous where we are in Canada now and where this is all going. Hey, everybody, I hope everybody had a great time in this stream. We've been on it for 2 hours, just past the 2 hour mark. So we're going to take this time to say adieu. But for all those that want to keep the party going, there's always hanging out in the Discord. This is where we go after the live streams. I like to go hang out in the Discord and chat with everybody. And, leave the mic open for other people that want to add to the conversation. I know there was a lot that I said about the whole transgender, the gender ideology, drag queens. This is all real, fresh in the news. This is all fresh in some people's minds. A lot of people didn't want to get involved in the culture war. They didn't think it was, so it was just a messy thing and they don't want to do it. Turns out the culture war is right on your lap. And here we are. I'm glad I came into this with a bunch of knowledge because I already knew a lot about what's going on in the culture war. So to be able to bring this to you with a decent amount of insight, this is what I'm here for. This is what I like to do. I've made a hobby of it. I've made a quasi career of it, and I'm glad to have you guys all along for this with me. And well, come on, join over. Links is always in the description down below. Check it out. That's the Discord link. It's free to join. It's free to enter, free to join in. It's another social media app. It's great inside the community that we have in there. There's a lot of like-minded people. You can have conversations with them any night of the week that you want. On Fridays after the live stream, I like to jump in, hang out with you guys. We can have a chat. And then, hey, after that, we'll see you on Monday morning and live again next Friday. Keep on trucking, everybody.